How's it going, y'all? This is my 2019 Toyota Tacoma TRD Off-Road with the dirtking long travel kit on here. And today we're going to be doing a review on it. Alright, so like I mentioned, 2019 Toyota Tacoma. I've had this truck now for about 4 years. Been working on this specific kit for about 2 years. A lot has been done to this. I've already done a build walk around of this truck probably a couple times, but today we're gonna talk about some specific things I've done recently that kind of need to be done to have a long travel Tacoma pre-runner, because you can't just slap the kit on here and expect it to, well, it will perform, but you gotta make sure everything else in the truck can keep up with a kit like this. So first things first, you can see here I have 2.5 coilovers with reservoirs with the dual speed compression adjusters, and then a 3.0 bypass. These are Fox chocks. The 3.0 bypass up here is actually spec'd for an F-150, but we just went ahead and tossed it on this Tacoma. This is the Dirt King 3.5 inch long travel kit. Cycles about 13.5 inches of travel, I believe. And I don't have any bump stops because I've never really gotten to the point where it, fully bumps. Go back to the rear now. Also, the most important part of any pre-runner is the rear suspension setup. Also forgot to mention both the bypass in the front and the rear. Not only are they 3.0, they're triple tube bypasses as well. So we have a Dirt King spring under kit here. This is the Fox 16 inch triple bypass here, 3.0s. And it's actually a King bump stop here with a little Kibby Tech raw machined bump cap. Looks beautiful. But this cycle is about 17 3/4, so 17.75 inches of travel. If you do everything right, which we made sure everything's spec'd perfectly and measures up. So this is the Dirt King bed cage. I have it coated in Steelite in case I scratch anything. Steelite coating matches perfectly right back on. I have my jack sitting on the spare tire. This is the only setup that really works without this thing rattling back here. I'd rather have it touching rubber than the bed, so it's nice and quiet. And then I have two Kibby Tech Pelican 1510 cases back here. They help with weight behind the axle. You can put like wakeboard wake sacks in here. Each sack weighs about 50 pounds, and they're small. You just put them in here, so if you need extra weight, it works out. It's a great addition. But I also keep my tools in here, so if I need to change anything on the go, I have everything I could possibly need in these two toolboxes back here. So that's the rear suspension setup. If you want to bring the camera around here and take a look under, it's a little dirty right now. I only cleaned the outside of the truck, but nothing under. I have a little diff guard over there. It's kind of DIY. I'll show you that a little bit later, but yeah, spring under kit. My friend Louis, his business is Built by Bruno. He did this for me. I didn't want to trust anyone else but his work, because he's amazing when it comes to working on pre-runners, because this is passion. It's not just about welding. You have to have a passion for this because it's a lot of work and you want to make sure everything's perfect. So that's why I trusted him with the job. And these are the cross support bars here. Because these hangers are so low, it has a lot of stress. It can bend pretty easily, so you have to have these crossbars here to support this so it doesn't move. And the frame is plated all the way up until the middle of the truck so the frame doesn't bend. Very important. I also have this whole chassis all the way till the front coated in cavity wax so it doesn't rust. I did an extra coat of Steelite on the entire chassis, and then I did cavity wax on the outside of it. That way I don't have to worry about this thing rusting, because off-roading, high speed, everything's getting sanded under literally, so taking the paint right off. But cavity wax on Amazon, coat it, spray it all over the chassis, inside the chassis, and prevents any rust in the future. Metal is metal. You want to take good care of it. Fiberglass. These are Glasscraft. This is a company in California. They made this fiberglass as a 3.5 inch rise, I believe. And it's very unique. As you can see, a lot of people ask about this. I didn't really ask for this. It just came with it. I don't have a side exhaust, unfortunately. It just came like that. So maybe one day, but it's not really something I really care about right now. But yeah, it's very unique. It's got a little vent right here. It looks kind of cool. And as you can see, the paint is, I got to put some kind of a, I should have put a PPF on here, but I didn't. And look what happens. The paint's coming off, so I gotta take care of that later, and then I'm gonna put a wrap over that to protect it in the future. So my mistake, rookie mistake. And you can see the front here, the glass is beautiful, and I didn't even have to do any sanding. It came, they mounted it before they sent it, so that way I just toss it on here and everything fits perfectly. Alpha Rex headlights, full LEDs. These are the, I believe they're the Alpha Blacks. They're all blackout housing. Man, they look amazing. They're so bright. And Baja Designs on X6. I put 2 ambers on the side and then 1 spot in the middle. Honestly, kind of mixes in together, so it's mainly amber, but it is insanely bright. If you don't have Baja Designs, there's so many brands out there, but Baja Designs is just so bright, and it's the only brand I trust when I'm going like 90 miles an hour off-road. Let's go with the wheels. Okay, so these are Innovate Racing's fully forged G600 wheel. This is a true bead lock. The ring is a Tech Light ring on here, and I have chromoly lugs on here with 1 lock, of course. You don't want anyone taking these wheels, but the spokes are super thick because they are forged. And Innovate, honestly, they make the best wheels when it comes to pre-running in trucks and stuff like that. They really put a lot of dedication and research into everything they make, so I trust them more than anyone when it comes to wheels. And of course, I had to get their standard flagship gold colorway. They're known for their gold wheels, and in person, I know, like, getting gold wheels, like, I was like, no way am I gonna get gold wheels. Like, I don't even, you know, doesn't sound good. But then when I got it in person, gold wheels from Innovate Racing, it's a must. So yeah, 17x9, got a -12 offset to help clear these upper control arms here. It's the right amount of stance. So in the front and the rear, when I have full clearance, nothing hits the glass. These are actually 33-inch tires. It's a Toyota Tacoma, so like when people put 35s on here, you got to realize these trucks are not meant to run 35-inch tires. It gets slower, and you have to go through a lot of work to make a 35s work on here. It's just not worth it. This truck moves. It cycles. It's comfortable. Obviously, 35s, 37s would be smooth, but it's a small truck, so 285 7017 has been amazing. I don't have to worry about any rubbing or anything like that, so I'm happy. And they look big, so they eat everything. Drop PSI down, it does the job. All right, I got something very special under the hood here. Very excited to share with you guys. It is a bone stock engine. That's right, no supercharger. The only thing I've done to this is literally a 488 re-gear, which saved my truck. You need to re-gear these trucks to your tire ratio. If you have 33s, do not get 529s. You need 488s with 33s, 529s with 35s. Everything has to rotate perfectly. So yeah, it moves with 488s. The engine's healthy. It's not under any stress, so that's why I left the engine like that. There's been so much talk about the supercharger. I haven't heard too many reviews about it, so I'm just gonna sit out and wait while other people get it. And if the time comes, I'll just toss it on here. For now, I'm satisfied with the way it drives and the reliability. So I never have any issues with this engine. I take very good care of this engine, do my oil changes when the time comes. So, you know, I love reliability. That's why I built a Toyota Tacoma. So I can take it out there, have a good time. And when I come back, I don't have to worry about anything. So if you are going a pre-runner route and you have headlights, I bring this up because nobody really pays attention to this, very important. These tabs will break. It's broken on me on my other headlights. Your headlights sag. Not only do your headlights sag down, the grille brackets here, these can break and your grille can fall down and fall off. So a lot of things have to be taken into precaution. I'm gonna grab the camera here. I'm gonna show you a little bit. What I did here, it's tough, but this is one bracket attached to the body, comes and holds this frame. So there's no stress on these headlight tabs when it's moving up and down to the whoops. It falls onto this, and there's a lot of pressure on this angled up, so it takes a lot of pressure off the lights. I did that, another one of these under the light as well itself. So it's a little rusted, but it's no big deal. So it takes stress off these tabs and helps keep the grill up so the grill doesn't break, which has happened to me. This grill's completely fallen off. So I learned from my mistakes and I built as I went. And this is attached to here and holds the grill in place. So literally, this is actually the grill technically welded from the plastic to the body here. So the grill won't move and sits flush. When I close the engine, here, when I close the engine, you can see, perfect. So before I did all this, my grill was hanging down here and it looked disgusting. So learn from your mistakes. I'm sharing this information with you. If you have a pre-runner, you know, you gotta take notes on everything because a lot of work has to be done. You can't just slap a kit on here. The bumper, Mojo Metal Works, he built this for me. It's custom. You can go down, obviously, you know, dents will happen to your skid plate. You know, it's just like a pre-runner style 2-inch tubing. Wanted to keep it simple and aggressive, and I like how it looks. It's lightweight, and I'm very satisfied with the look and performance of it. So I have a lot of clearance, and I'm satisfied with that. All right, so for the spring under kit, when I put the hangers on, these are the little things that we did to make sure everything's perfect and will last a long time. Bring the camera around here. If we go under, here, pass it here. You can see the hangers are actually not only, this comes a bolt-on from dirtking, but we had them welded. My friend Louis welded it to the frame because, and I did this for all 4 sides, front, I mean this is the rear obviously, and then the front too, hangers for the leaf springs as well. We did that because, you know, I off-road very aggressively, so sometimes it starts to bend. So I wanted to make sure everything is welded to the frame as a backup. So you got the bolt as strength and then the welds. So everything is very secure and tight on this truck. So durability, longevity, reliability, anything extra you can do to your truck to make sure it'll last. You have to think like, if you're going full send, when you're going off-roading, you gotta make sure everything is ready to go so you can come home and have a good time. So yeah, I did that. And then interior, it's simple, no cage. I should have a cage in here. I've been lazy with that. Actually just got it fully detailed. Smells amazing. My friend Mitch from Mitchie's Detailing came here and steamed the whole truck, which was much needed because it smelled terrible in here from all that off-roading. Cloth seats, I wish I had leather, but you know, like I said, I'm lazy with the interior. Get an aftermarket steering wheel on here, NRG. Do I suggest you to get this wheel if you're not getting a cage and stuff? No, it was an in-the-moment thing. I thought it would look cool. It's great, I love it, but you'll lose your dash if you put that on there. So all you can see is RPMs, gas, miles an hour. You lose all the functionality of that dash. Everything else disappears. So don't do that unless you don't care like I did. I just tossed it on there. I just didn't want an airbag exploding in my face when I'm going on the whoops, because it can happen. And so yeah, got an aftermarket steering wheel, little Teton workshop knob in here. See, I didn't really do much in here. That's really it. Everything else is stock. And it's nice and clean in there. I like it. I like feeling OEM when I'm in this truck. You know, like a brand new truck, nice and clean, simple. And that's the inside. And the color scheme is pretty good. All gray with the gold wheels. And you know, it's nice. Nothing crazy. The gold definitely adds a lot to the truck. I had black wheels on here previously, but now the gold is perfect. And it kind of goes with the amber of that light bar. As far as future mods go to this truck, the only thing I really would want to do, I'm not going to link this truck because I'd rather link a full-size truck. As far as what a mid-size truck can take, the spring under kits, it's plenty. Like, it's just, if you build it just right, I mean, it will eat anything in its way for a mid-size truck. But if I could do anything else to this truck, which I will one day, is put a fully new Curry rear end on this truck. That's my dream. It's a lot of work, but one day I hope to, you know, get that rear end out of there, put a new drive shaft, a new Curry axle back there, and I'll be really happy, and it'll look really badass and durable as well. So that's all I would really do this truck. Maybe some subs in there, and who knows, like I said, if the supercharger is worth it in the long run, give it a couple more years, see what people think about it. I'll toss one on there. But for right now, this truck is everything I want it to be. I go out there and I absolutely have a great time with this Tacoma. You know, it's small, so I can get into tight places, do some like, you know, kind of lighter off-roading, and then when I need to hit whoops, hit jumps and stuff like that, you know, it does perfect. And I had the shocks tuned by my friend Eric, aka Lawless Motorsports in Ocala, Florida. We went out for a day and he tuned the shocks, make sure everything's perfect. That's why it's so smooth. You don't tune your shocks, it's kind of waste. So make sure you get your shocks tuned if you go long travel and stuff like that with bypasses. Yeah, if you're building a long travel Tacoma or any long travel truck, do the rear first, because the rear is the most important part. You don't want to go out with a long travel kit in the front, think that you can hit whoops. You will buck your truck forward. It's very dangerous. So you want to get the rear done first, then the front. I suggest you just do it all together. A lot of people do it piece by piece. Do it all together, rear first, and get it tuned. And, you know, start slow. Don't start going fast for a couple months. You know, feel out the whoops, get familiar with the truck. There's no sway bar on here, so safety is more important than anything, and then you'll have fun once the experience starts to build up. And yeah, that's my 2019 Toyota Tacoma TRD off-road. And this is kind of like my toy. I go out and have some fun with it. It's not my daily driver. It used to be, but yeah, this is a very special car to me, and I will keep it as long as I can.